Right, it being 5 o'clock, we call the meeting of the December 15th Water Commission meeting to order. You have the minutes of the previous meeting in front of you that Kerry had emailed. Do we have any comments
No.
to the minutes?
I read them, everything looks good.
No? I'll accept the motion.
Motion to accept the minutes of the
December
December 1st meeting.
So all in favor?
Aye.
All right, sign this. Yeah. Warrants are going around. We have a few abatements as well. We'll get those done by the end of the meeting. Also have a copy of the yearly posting was given to you for the, all the meetings going ahead for the next year, including which ones get moved to Tuesday because of the Monday holiday. And that gets posted at Town Hall, right?
Huh.
Well,
The other boards I sit on with, we don't advertise the meetings that far in advance.
yeah, they have to,
No, I know, we usually do the 48-hour thing, so.
no, they have to post it
For this,
in advance
for
of
you in
Town
advance?
Hall, yeah.
Yeah, every department's supposed to.
All right.
All right, then, moving along in new business, James White from Tabor and Howard on the projects.
All right, so we have the updated budget forms for both of the construction projects. So the first one is the Manly one. So this has been updated for the invoice that just got emailed to you today, I think, Wayne.
Yeah.
So we understand it hasn't been reviewed or processed yet, but just be aware that the numbers here include that invoice. So it's through the most recent Hayden Howard invoice and the most recent contractor pay application. So as you can see, nothing has really changed overall, except that, you know, both the construction and the engineering have progressed along the estimate to complete. We're not showing us, you know, being any more or less than the budgeted amount from last month. So you can see we're still running about that $72,000 under budget as a whole. And just to note, it could actually be better than that because we still have some of these change orders that are time and materials basis that we suspect will be coming less than our estimate. So the savings on the project could be more than the $72,000. So nothing has changed there. The only real thing of note on this one is, Wayne, based on just this ARPA fund value that we set when I started doing these,
Yeah.
I'm showing there being less ARPA funds available than what you told us in your email. So at some point, we might want to just check.
I verified
My
back to
assumptions.
town hall, she sends me something.
So you guys see here, the third table down, the ARPA funds, the balance, I'm showing, essentially a balance of 278,000. It looks like that's actually closer to 450,000, which would obviously be fantastic news, right? That means we could,
The 450 is the number Wayne gave you?
yeah. So either the starting amount was greater than we realized, or some of the costs we thought were being paid out of ARPA ended up not being paid out of ARPA. I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, I can send you a printout of what went against the ARPA. Most of it's basically all your invoices.
Okay. I mean, it's not terribly important to me to know how you spent your ARPA funds. I just want to know what you have left, so we draw that down first.
So,
Right, because we've been waiting for the balance to finish to be close to what your ARPA is, so we stop billing to the SRF, right? So that's kind of how we've been approaching it. And we just don't want to leave ARPA funds on the table.
No, we definitely don't want to, and that, we have less restrictions on what we spend that money on as well.
Yeah, the
We can
ARPA,
spend- We can
as
spend
long as
that on
it's-
the engineering services on the field and everything else. So we
Yeah.
want to use, we don't want to leave any of that on, we want to use that all up.
Yeah, but, we're gonna stick to our engineering costs, right? We gave you a number, we're gonna stick to it. So there's no, and as you can see, we're actually under budget on the engineering. So there's not gonna be any overrun on those costs that you would need to use ARPA funds for. So really, the ARPA funds, I think they need to be used specific to PFAS at Manly.
Yeah.
So one of the things we had talked about last time is maybe using it for your SCADA upgrades at the Manly plant. Take that off, that PCO for, the other project essentially. But that's $20,000.
Yeah, that's not-
$30,000 item, that's not a $200,000 item.
Yeah, it didn't start at 900, it started at 1.3.
Okay, so maybe that's,
That's the difference.
okay.
And I'll verify it, but I've been verifying back against her town hall's ledger.
Okay. All right, well, so, that sounds like that's the explanation then. So, starting at the very next pay application, we might have to start being really strategic about, what we're requesting from SRF. Because again, that balance of, we're now calling it 450,000, that already includes what we're anticipating to pay for change orders, right? So the bag filter, for that minor chemical signal wire line item, right? Those all are already taken into account. So that $450,000 is there for the SCADA upgrades and then to essentially reduce the principal of your SRF. So I guess the picture actually looks even better than we realized.
Are we gonna have time for the skate upgrade?
So he told us he was interested,
Yeah,
but we haven't got a number. And we asked for a number going on a month ago. So you're right to maybe be concerned that he's not on top of it, but yeah, we should probably follow up.
yeah, if he doesn't have, he's not the only integrator that exists. He's the guy out in Western Mass too.
Yeah, I also don't know if there's a mechanism to do it outside of this contract. I don't know if it'll make
All
it.
right, because he's part of it, yes.
So, our
It's still part of the
preference
project.
would be just to have him do it, so it's
Right.
a change order, for the applicable, it's applicable to that construction project already, that you're already under contract for. In terms of, the mechanism being there, it's all above board, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's the
Just try
easiest.
pushing on him a little harder.
Yeah,
maybe.
well, I think it's just.
Remind him we're looking for it.
Well, I don't think he understood that Mike spent most of his time grabbing work. Like, Mike was always chasing more work. And I don't think he realized how much work Mike had committed them to, and then he left.
Right. I think you're right. So we'll chase that down, that will help, and again, there's still gonna be ARPA funds left over that we'll have to, that we should use to reduce the, principal. And then, I think we mentioned this last time, what that means bottom line is when we did our rate review, I don't wanna call it a study, because it was not quite that in depth. When we did our rate review, we did not realize that the SRF loan would be smaller. So this would, potentially mean the impact to the rate
Rates
payers
is less.
is a benefit. So I guess talking about the general progress, Wayne knows this because he was on the meeting with us last week, but the electrician continues to be a pain. Bisco actually called me after that meeting to say, I promise you, we're doing everything we can to keep them moving. Because we had to kind of be bad cop on the progress meeting because,
Is
we
he a
kind
filed
of.
sub-bid or is he with Bisco?
No, so he's a sub-bid,
Filed sub-bid.
right? So Bisco's hands are tied. It's, mass procurement law, right? We had a the price, the electrical is over 25,000, so that's open to public bid. You got to take the lowest bidder. Everyone's hands are tied, including Bisco's. But
Any demand letters out?
so I think that's probably the next step. I think the liquidated damages term gets thrown out pretty soon, right? So we're all planning to have this plant online on this date. If we can't be online at this date, then the damages to the water department are X, Y, and Z. That's kind of the next step if.
But that's us threatening Bizco with the liquidated damages, not, we can't threaten the
So then it's a pass-through.
subcontractor.
Yeah, so then Bizco then has to go after, so it's, tough position to put Bizco in.
Business.
What's that?
It's part of business.
100%. It certainly can't be your problem, so if that means it's Bizco's problem, it's kind of tough luck, right? It's like, so hopefully, the message has been received and that they're going to be ready to go when the bag filter comes. So the latest delivery date is December 17th is what I'm hearing, or the shipping date. Originally they said it was the delivery date, now they're calling it a shipping date.
Where's it coming from? We can just go get it. It might be quicker.
I don't know. That's a good question. But yeah, so now we're thinking they were originally going to take Christmas week off. Now we got to find out if that'll still be the case, if they're not getting the filter until Wednesday of this week. Knowing that we need to have this buttoned up by the end of January, they're going to have to show us that they can still take the week off.
Yeah.
So we're coordinating that. Derek wasn't out there today because the electrical engineer needs his hand held by the instrumentation guy, and he said he will come back out when everyone can be there at the same time.
I don't think he knows how to terminate the ends.
Yeah.
I don't think he's competent.
It's a problem. And I will say we've been lucky that both Bizco and EII have been team players. And I think they've picked up some of the slack, which is, appreciated. But everyone but the electrician seems to be on the same page. Get this done, get it done right.
Any reason why is the delay, or too much work, or just?
I think he maybe is in over his head.
I don't think he knows how to terminate the ends. I'm not sure he knows how to read plans. I've seen him standing in front of the panel and just looking at it.
Great.
He knows how to run and pull wires and run conduit, but remember, he said he wouldn't run any conduit because he didn't know where the pumps were going. Well, if you looked at the plans, you knew right where they were going. So he was behind right at the start because he wouldn't do anything.
The DCAM certified. So state.
And that's the thing, right? It's like when you do your reference checks, no one will say anything bad about anybody anymore.
Yeah. Can't.
So, anyway, that's a lot to say. We're monitoring closely. As of now, everything should be okay. But the thing holding us up, I think Wayne and I both wanted this whole piece done, tested, and ready well before the bag filter showed up. And now it's essentially going to happen just as the bag filter show up. So if, one little thing goes wrong in testing, you're going to have some angry people because now we're troubleshooting when we should be going online.
Well, I think they were all coming together tomorrow.
That's the plan, right? So tomorrow goes well and all of this complaining, I guess, is moved, but.
How come we don't put the hammer down on you?
You can put the hammer down on us. We're,
Stop payment.
So, yeah, we're.
I think at least a letter should go out to the electrician to let him know what's going on, that we can discuss it in tonight's meeting. And I don't know if you can give a 10-day notice or whatever the
Can we
next,
send a letter out?
or something to that effect, just to like, hey, look at, without legitimate reason behind this, you're holding up the
Can we do
job.
that, Al?
Well, except right now, he's not holding up the job.
So, I mean,
We can't do liquidated damages until you get to a point where the plant doesn't come online when it's supposed to. We're the ones that added the bag filters
Yeah.
to the job. So if the bag filters aren't there, if he doesn't get it done ahead of time, we can't really do a heck of a lot about it. If it holds up getting everything running, that's a different story. But realistic, we don't have much of a...
Did the bag
lever
filters
to-
hold him up?
The bag filters don't hold him up, but he doesn't have, his work doesn't need to be completed until that's plant's online. We don't have interim places we can put on liquidated damages. It's not like we have this portion of the work done by this date, this portion of the work done by this date.
Right, he's not holding up the end date yet.
Yeah, and that's what we have the hammer for with the liquidated damages, is the end date. So
So
until,
I think right now our strategy has been, remind him that that will come if all this procrastination ends up blowing up in his face. But, I think tomorrow will be telling. If tomorrow goes great, then, everyone's happy. But if tomorrow's a disaster, then maybe the letter starts.
yeah, then we send a letter
Yeah,
out.
but we don't know the next meeting, right?
No, the meeting's tomorrow. They can send a letter out on it. It doesn't have to wait till our next meeting. If there's a problem,
Oh, we could issue a
yeah,
letter.
Cater and Howard will issue the letter telling them what's going on, and then we've already discussed liquidated damages going if this delays the project. So we don't have to vote to send that letter out afterwards, they just do that under construction administration. And you probably have people that can write really nasty letters, sitting in the office.
We've had to write letters. So I think when I come to the next meeting, which I assume is January 5th. Yeah, so, by then we should have a real good handle on, whether the schedule's sliding or whether we're good. So I'll plan to attend that one and with a new update. Any other questions on Manly?
Not for me, anyone else? Nope.
So the next one is Sear Norman. So you've seen the first two tables before. What we've added now is that third table, the budget status table. Essentially, it's the same table we've been doing for Manly, but now that you've paid a couple invoices and a couple pay applications, it made sense to start kind of tracking it. We're so early on in the project that there are no real surprises yet. Our estimate to completes are in line with what they were at the start of the project. In terms of, the contingency, there is, a $700,000 contingency. We hope to not use all of it, but we all know we're going to use some of it. It's just a matter of how much that will be. The only thing that's come up so far that was, a big ticket item was the optional SCADA upgrade. There are a couple, minor PCOs that we've received that we're reviewing. One related to architecture, one about the valves, which we kind of talked about, but we'll discuss those tomorrow. None of them are at a point where we're asking, I guess, Art or Wayne to make a decision on them. We're still coming up with our, counterpoints.
Yeah, the responses to their proposals.
Right. So yeah, no change orders yet to be processed. So the other thing that kind of...
And the payments have gotten to them now,
Okay.
right there. If you heard it, because I heard that they did, but I haven't heard it, that was from our end, I haven't heard anything
The fact that
back.
I've heard from Jan makes me think he must have the checks, because
Okay.
he was checking it pretty frequently.
No, he was, and I was told they went out, so,
Okay.
and he said to mail them, so I'm assuming
Okay.
they got them. If you haven't heard anything different.
No, I have not, so I assume he has them. We'll find out tomorrow morning, I guess.
Yeah.
But, I think he seems appreciative that you guys were able to make that happen. The only other thing I want to point out on here that changed is on the top, the funding source. Wayne and I did another fun round of back and forth with the Emerging Contaminants Grant. So when we did the initial table over a year ago, we projected out how certain projects were going to be paid. It turns out that some ARPA funds were used to pay some of the costs that we thought we would apply for under the emerging contaminants. So essentially what happened is some of the value in the line item that says EC reimbursement to be reallocated had to shift down to the line under, which is the grant to be used for PFAS. So essentially there were some costs we had originally planned to apply for reimbursement for that are no longer eligible because they were paid out of the ARPA funds. So that frees up more emerging contaminant grant money, but we're locked into the allocation table, which means we unfortunately can't move it to Sear Norman directly. But it is, still there for you to use when you eventually take steps towards PFAS treatment here.
Yeah, and that's only for when we actually install people. We can't use that for a portion of the project that's leaving space for the PFAS or,
Right, so I think,
there's no way to use some of it now. It's gotta wait until we're ready to actually do the
I would say,
PFAS.
yeah, until you start piloting PFAS, I don't think that 1.2 million can be tapped. Again, once we get this actually finalized, we may try to revisit them and see if there's any flexibility there. But at this point, we've been going back and forth with them for over a year. We don't want to prolong the actual approval
No.
and the reimbursement that you guys are already due. Like, that $879,000 has all been spent. So, theoretically, if they just approve this package, that becomes, cash. You'll have to, I guess, do a warrant or however the mechanism is to move it to be usable. But we don't want to hold up the disbursement of that almost $1 million by muddying the waters and trying to move some of the other $2 million around. So once that's settled and the check clears, I think maybe then we'll kind of revisit the conversation and see if we can, steal any of it. But for now, I would consider this, the most likely case. So I don't think there's anything else on the budget. We have our next construction progress meeting tomorrow morning, so here at 8 a.m. Are we inside?
No, they're gonna have their final tomorrow. I thought they were gonna be done, but they're not.
That's okay. We were comfortable last time.
Yeah, as long as you turn that heater on, we'll be fine.
I'll check the vehicles out early and turn on the heat.
Appreciate it.
So they have another requisition?
Are they working there?
So they were working, they're now waiting on their metal building manufacturer. They owe us reaction calculations so that the structural engineer can confirm the foundation design. So you aren't going to see them on site now until after the holidays. So we have a call tomorrow with the structural engineer and the contractor and ourselves, because Waterline wants to understand, if the metal building reactions are different than what the design was, what are the range of outcomes for adjustment to the foundation, so that the contractor can decide if they want to take on any risk of ordering rebar, essentially, so that they can essentially get started, and it's their decision whether they want to take on the risk to order that rebar, even though we won't have issued an approved shop drawing on it.
Now, did they submit the calculation yet, and we just haven't gotten into the structure?
No, so they submitted the rebar, the steel, and the structural engineer said, I can't approve this without the final foundations and metal building, because if the reactions are different than the building that the design was based on, it could change the rebar. At the very least, the location and the number.
But they still haven't submitted those calculations, because they were asked for a few weeks ago anyway.
Over a month ago,
Yeah.
right? Because we were talking about it last progress meeting, that was a critical path item that was in Waterline's court. So we sent them an email a week or two ago, just saying, as a reminder, it's our understanding that this is the critical path item, that this is in your court and has been for some time. Essentially firing back to their previous email where they were annoyed that we took too long to tell them that their shop drawing was incomplete and wouldn't be approved.
When was the last time you were over there?
Over there,
Yeah.
me personally, probably the last board meeting I came to.
Well, is there a reason why people are walking around there? Like, it's not fenced in, there's a hole about, 12 feet deep over there?
But it's sloped, it's
Yeah,
not
but if
like,
you go straight, you go into the hole.
yeah, but you go
So-
down a slope. Yeah, they didn't fence it,
Well, you think we should fence it?
I'm not gonna fence it, the ground's frozen out there and I don't have the money for the fence.
So we actually we're doing a safety walk tomorrow morning. We have one of our construction
There's a hole there,
managers.
there's a hole there, there's
Yep.
no fence around it, there's no nothing.
Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah, I think it's
I
a
mean-
fair point. So when we have our personnel do the walk, we can share our findings with the contractor But from a liability standpoint, all we can do is make suggestions, call their attention to it.
It's
We're
more
not-
of a safety thing.
Yeah,
Is
I
fencing
mean, I
required?
think we have to, have a meeting over it. And I don't know why the people are walking in the site. They
should you
should
say people, do you mean the general public?
Yeah.
This is a great walking area.
Yeah.
If anything, it's gonna get filled up with dog poop.
Okay, no, that's a fair point, Mark, let me bring that up
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but we don't own fencing around that site because we control the whole site,
Right.
right? So we didn't.
Eventually, the whole site will be fenced in.
But no, but
But they're not
we don't own
installed.
temporary construction fence around the thing for
It should be in there,
inspect.
making the site secure.
Yeah, they are responsible for
Yeah,
site
you don't have
safety and
to-
security. Yeah, you're right.
I hope so. We already given close to $1 million, and all we have is a big hole out there.
Yeah, and well, and their bonds and their insurance and how many shop runs have we reviewed now, Art? A couple hundred?
More.
But yeah, I mean, to your point, you know, we would like to get them out there doing the next steps as soon as possible.
Did we waive the permits fees?
We did.
We did, or you did?
I mean, not, we don't have no control over that, the town did.
Was that in the bidding?
I believe the question was asked during bidding. We made the call to see if it was gonna be waived. We informed the contractor that those fees.
So all the contractors did that? Permits waived?
Correct.
So you're gonna do the site walk right after the meeting tomorrow morning?
So, yeah, I didn't talk to Jenna today, but my understanding was Jenna and Brian, I think they were gonna try to do it tomorrow, since we were gonna be up here anyway. Just part of our own, due diligence of the project. Make sure that it's being conducted up to our safety standards. So-
Is that the hole for the foundation? So it's like not even covered. It's like no frost blankets, no nothing. Is that? Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think you're right that it's not covered. Yeah.
So we'll do that walkthrough, if we can do it right after the meeting, and see it. I'll stick around, go on that one with you at the same
Okay.
time. But I have to go up to Norfolk after that, but I get some flexibility on time.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'll
if we-
text-
so if we can, check with them, and if we can plan to do that right after.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, she mentioned it, a week or so ago. She hasn't told me anything's changed, so I'll just confirm it's still the plan. And if it's gonna be at a different time, I'll let you know.
Anything else?
Nothing else.
Nope.
So I'll see, I guess, you two tomorrow, bright and early.
8 o'clock's not bright and early.
I guess not. Bright and early for me.
Wear a hat.
And then I guess I'll see the rest of you January
January
5th.
5th.
All right, thanks for your time.
See you.
Thanks for the update. All right, next item, Stiles Company on the water meters. Wayne, would you like to?
Good? You're up. Ian from Stiles Company, I'm the owner of Stiles. Wife and I owned it now for about 5 years, been there since 2011. This is Chris, newer with us, been about a year, and he just helps cover this area, so it'll be good for him to come to a meeting like this. We'll discuss the failures.
Yeah.
Perfect. So just some background here. I did see some emails this morning with Ryan, our support guy, for some history. So
Yeah, we're trying to, I've got to figure out, future expenditures, and right now, there's a special town meeting coming up that I don't really want an article on, but our failure rate is high.
Yep. So our goal is that we won't have to go for special funds or to the town meeting for funds. If there are true failures here, just to give you some, the homework we did today, after the emails this morning, 2011, unless that sounds wrong, is when you started purchasing the Orion system.
Somewhere, I know it went out, they did a bid, and Badger won the bid, and
Yeah.
somewhere right around 2010, we began installing them.
So it lines up then. So yeah, it was light in 2011, then the majority started in 2012. To that point, after seeing that date today, I mean, all this product is warranty, so if there are true failures, it should not be that expensive a customer, right? So just to back up a little bit, that system was called Orion. Badger introduced that system in 2002. We have, just styles alone, not talking direct customers in New England, over 175 customers using that system with great success. And customers who've had it in much longer than you guys. So there's a few different issues going on here. And I don't even know if they're issues yet. We sent back our first batch of endpoints when we were here about 3-4 weeks ago. It's the first time we ever picked up endpoints. We take care of the RMA process, that's the return process, on behalf of all our customers. We don't want the customer to have to spend their own money and send it back from Milwaukee to the factory. So we take care of that, we track it, send product back, get an analysis, we get the returned product, send it back to the customers. So this is the first batch we've ever sent back from you guys, from West Bridgewater. We don't have anything yet back from Badger. It usually takes them about 2 months turnaround. With the holidays might be a little longer. But like I said, it goes to their quality assurance department. They tell us what happened, if it was a failure, why was it a failure, and then they'll send us back the replacement product, which is a brand new rated device. So we haven't had any results back yet from that, unfortunately, for this meeting. But this is alarming where 2011 is new to us. I started in 2011. If it was 2007, 2006, year 18 of a 20-year product, it would kind of, all right, yeah, RF signals, batteries, they get weaker. We have customer feedback saying, the ones they put in 2008, they notice that they'll get a little closer to the house. This is for a drive pilot that you guys use. Yeah. In terms of just complete failures, it's been less than 0.5%. And Badger has that just from their return process over the last few decades. So when we get 50 out of, I think there's 2,600 total accounts here, something's not right. Ryan, our lead support guy, took a look. It looks like there's 64 currently, or last time you read, that didn't read. 8 of those are actually ME endpoints, which are the newest style. So that even makes less sense.
Yes.
So what we'd like to do, there's 2 things we want to do, and I know this isn't necessarily...
I can tell you what the minute she generates that list that they didn't read in, we go out and we quick read.
Try to do a quick read. Yep. And which is normal, what we would tell the customer,
Right.
Hey, can you get a quick read, which is just going back, even walking closer to the building or the house and trying to just enter that one serial number and extract the read from that one rated device.
Right.
What we'd like to do is twofold. One is obviously to hear back from Badger about the batch we sent 4 weeks ago, and also come read with you with our equipment and see if it's an antenna, if it's a loose wire, if it's something on the equipment end. Those are also the best situations because that's an easy fix, rather than getting back into multiple houses or basements. I'm assuming, well, I shouldn't assume anything. The packaging right there is the integral package, but I also see wired packages. So my guess is the 2011 ones, and we can dig into it, into our old software, were probably all the integral package, the toilet seat package. Those tend to have if we read it with that older handheld device, a worse distance between it, because it's now...
Yeah, we use the
radio, floor joists.
Yeah, I bought that and it was explained it could do something, but we've never even used it.
That device?
Yeah.
Huh. Quick reads even?
Yep, not
You
even.
buy it?
I collect as much equipment as I can.
At the time, there were 2 now, CE and ME, the last,
Yes.
you need different modules to read
That would be good for
different
about
things.
95% of your system, and
Right.
the 5% MEs, you would need the newer stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you're not using that, I'll credit it. I love having spare equipment to just
No, I know.
customers.
I mean, if it's easy to use, it's just a matter of, there's never a time when there isn't a fire going on here.
Same. No, it makes total sense. So just to I don't wanna come and be a salesman and tell you how great Badger is and has a great reputation and great water meters, but it does, like, if it gives you any peace of mind at all, like, you have the best meter manufacturer behind you with the best product behind you, and just from what we see in the field, we don't, knock on wood, we don't pick these things up a lot from customers, so when we hear from Wayne a month or so ago that these things are dying, and then we check the history, and there's 2011, things aren't adding up. That should not be the case. Like I said, I sold this in 2011, I started there in 2011, it's just,
Maybe you sold it to us.
no, I was just like Andy, he retired when I.
Yeah, in the beginning, we were actually purchasing directly from Badger.
Were you really?
Yeah, and then Andy asked Badger to make you guys the rep.
Interesting. Usually they took care of like the Bostons and the U cities. You must have had some sort of pull.
Well,
You
they
weren't.
bid it, so
Interesting, Badger direct, huh?
Badger bid it direct.
But yeah, that's kind of the current state of where these are at. We're used to, like I said, we do the RMA process. We're used to the salespeople in that territory pick up a couple every year. You know, you have some out, you put them in a box when we stop by on our monthly routes. We grab them, in a month or two later, a magical box appears and it's a new endpoint from that warranty product we sent 2 months ago. That's the usual process. Like I said, it never happened here. So we had a big bulk of them to pick up. And I'm very eager to hear what the factory says is wrong. We didn't test them at our facility beforehand just because we knew this was kind of a serious issue. So we just sent them back from Milwaukee right away, but I've not heard back from that. And the next step is I do want to come here with Brian and have him read side by side with your meter reader, with his equipment, our equipment, see if the newest, latest, and greatest truck antenna is doing any better. Is it a weaker signal? We can pull RSSI values, which, like I said, those usually drop for the older radios. But to see the last batch of 64, Ryan did an analysis today, and 8 of those were MEs, which are
Right, which shouldn't.
Should have
Probably
no issue at all.
3 years maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I don't
the
know.
other thing we do is we back check internally too to make sure that because with the new meters, there's 3 digits, you've got the registered digit, you've got the base digit, and then you've got the transmitter digit, so we've made new sheets for them to fill out, so that we separate out all those digits, and they're going back, so we actually back check ourselves, so we do a lot of checking the minute they come back with that many, or any that don't read.
Yeah, no, and we talked about it too, going out and doing the quick read, the troubleshooting, they're doing all the right troubleshooting moves that you can do in-house. The meters, the registers, those haven't gone bad, those haven't been inaccurate. The register is usually, rule of thumb, if a radio does die, always bill off of what's on the register, so it's a nice peace of mind. And you guys have stayed to your guns about staying with mechanical registers. So there's typically, in a good sense, you can always get inside if you have to, but that's not the point of the system. We can always get inside and have a real read on the meter. There's a discrepancy, you can bill off of that. So it's just the rated device that we're talking that's in question, just the RF device. Those are built to be 20 years, as long as it's that packaging, meaning it's a cylinder, which 2011, they're all cylinders. Those are a 20-year radio, 20-year warranty, 10 full, 10 prorated. It's designed, the older ones shot a signal every 4 seconds, whether you're reading or not, but it was just built into that 20-year battery life. 6 seconds for the newer ones. There's not many bells and whistles. You can't have to send a stronger signal. There's no rhyme or reason it should be dying early besides it being an actual product failure.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what Badger gets. Can they link it to where they're all the same year? Was it all the same batch? Was there an actual manufacturing issue? In which case it would obviously replace those 50, whatever we sent back, with new ones with a brand new warranty, which is why, going back to how I started, I don't want to have to go to town meeting unless you're planning some sort of, like, have an issue with actual meters themselves and want to start replacing those. I wouldn't. The goal is to, worst case scenario, get your warranty free product back. Obviously, there's labor involved.
The problem is that we don't like to lag. When we can't read a meter, we want it changed out right away.
Right.
I took over and better than 50% of the meters weren't reading. And I was slammed for the next 2 years with people blaming us for getting high bills when it wasn't.
Yep.
It was the previous administration, and
And to
they
that
didn't pay attention to it. Well, she kind of knew what was going on. She was hiding it.
To that point, I mean, we'd be happy to, what's the right term? give you the replacement product up front, so you have something on your seat and not wait 2 months to get it back from the factory. That's obviously something we can do at Styles. But still, get it replaced and then just put it on our shelf. That's, instead of waiting 2 months, totally understand that. If you'd rather at the house, you did your testing, especially if you're outside, that's the hardest part.
Right.
To be able to just replace it and be done with it. And even if it comes back where it's tested good, I'll give it back, I'll put it in pause and give it back to you and say, hey, you can use this one in another house, tested good.
How many meters?
So we have somewhere around between 2,600 to 2,800 accounts.
I'm not a salesman.
Yep.
But what are you gonna do? You wanna split it?
Oh, for the full thing?
Yeah, do it.
Control him.
Open meeting law.
Would you tell me to look out for when we start?
Yeah, that's the one.
I think it's always going to the middle. But I always how you held the engineer responsible, so always everyone else's fault. That's why it was a good little warning for us to see that.
I had my surgery.
I mean, I've kept my equipment up to date, so we don't look at the equipment, like if an antenna suddenly gets whacked or something, do we change them out, and they're not cheap by any means,
Yep.
but like when we went through with the USB port on the end of it, the dot, got broken, I chased it until I found it, and then we replaced it almost immediately.
We always like that you do that. In my early career, we had the city of Newburyport hit the newspaper, local paper, that 2,600 meters on Plum Island can be read. Huge panic. They thought the same radio system.
Right.
Ended up being a frayed wire to the radio on the truck, to the antenna on the truck, $150 part. So it was like, we always want to cross those things off before, especially getting into houses. Like that's the last thing we want is the public to see that there might be issues. They lose trust in the water department, lose trust in the bills. It's on Facebook. That's the last thing we want. So if we can do a combo of seeing what Badger says with the ones we sent back.
Right, we're waiting on them. I mean, we don't if they were driving fast and we stand outside then and did a quick read and then they still don't read, well, now they're stationary sitting in front of the house, so.
And you get
it's-
closer.
Right,
Yep.
it's not a matter of them driving.
And that's
too
the
fast.
case with all of the ones that have been pulled to go out.
Right.
Yeah, so he had pulled,
There were just so many of them. In the future, I'll hook them up to the IR device and see what happens. That brings me to the next point. The stuff to download the data, is that proprietary or can because every time you do something, you're changing a port. So we try to avoid that right now.
yeah, that's a great question, not proprietary.
All right, because I have a laptop sitting right there, I'll turn it on and then I'll get it.
Proprietary in the sense that it's just Windows,
Right,
any Windows device.
yep.
So unfortunately, they haven't done Android or
Windows again.
Samsung.
Windows 11.
Right.
We don't care about Windows 11.
Windows,
Yeah, so once
whatever.
I get them booted up, then I'll ask you to load it on so that I can have one that just
Absolutely.
downloads the data. Now, the original download that was on the XP computer was much better than the latest version that they use.
I still use the old one. I can get you the old one.
All right, that's perfect because
That's what I learned.
the new
I was so
one,
comfortable
it
with
craps. We end up taking it and bringing it up in Excel on our computers and.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then the old profile view is much
Yeah,
better. Yep, and Badger must know too, because if you call tech support, which we don't want you to do,
right.
they actually had available to give because they just get that feedback. Any Windows device and even the IR cable, we don't even source it from Badger anymore because it was way too expensive.
Yeah,
We get it from China. Or
all right. So before the holidays, I'll have them all.
Yes, please. To your point, I hope there's not a full meter change out, but if there is, obviously we work with you to whatever we have to do to keep it badgered. But I hope that what we turn over here is not a full meter change out. And the way you guys did it, just to give you kind of a quick snapshot, we had an old like DOS-based system until we took over, so this history could be wrong.
I like the NT server because we could look in and see everything. Now, everything's in the cloud.
86, 2011, 244, and these are a couple different sizes. 2012, 262, 2013, 21 in 2014. So it was like a slow change out. So
You're gonna see most of it occur like 15, 16.
there was a big chunk later on. Yeah, no, we actually, that's the only missing data we have is 2015.
And a big
We'll
chunk
find
coming
out.
in the future.
Say it again?
And a big chunk coming in the future.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully you can just mimic what we did, year 18, that's the goal. Start year 17 and then by year 20.
Well, that's what we were getting ready to begin.
Yeah.
It's just that when they started dying
prematurely.
Yeah, it's a
And
it's
it kind of put a monkey wrench in it.
100%.
I mean, it's not that, it's just a matter, it's transferring
I
funds.
did a lot, 225 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, because we didn't know what was going on, so the guys were throwing them out, so I
Yeah.
stopped them from doing that, so.
Yeah, don't build them out.
No,
Just
I told them not to throw them
the
out.
64 lines up, I think what you were saying when we first started, that's the most recent batch that might
Yeah.
not be working.
Right.
8 of those are MEs, 53 are CEs, but some of those CEs, which is why Ryan wants to come with here, 10 of them actually sent data and then didn't, and then sent again. These kind of radios don't like turn, like, they don't die and then wake up, like they either just die.
Well, that brings us back to the 62 Kenneth one, where it looks like it did begin dying, and it became separated from the mechanical register. And we didn't catch it until we got in for a physical read.
Right.
And I can't bill the guy on something that he would have paid all along if he had been billed correctly. And we didn't know that it was, because it was still transmitting out data, it just was, it was dropping off.
Is that the old pulse register that we looked at last time?
Yeah, we don't have too many of the pit style.
Right,
This, Phyllis bought them by accident. She
Oh,
she would
interesting.
just order and she had no idea. They showed up and we had a guy who, it's like 3 steps less you have to do. So he was installing them almost instantly, not even in pits.
That's why people like those. And Andy's, the old salesman, most of his customers use those, so I assume he
Yeah.
just had most of those.
I like them when you get it up into the joist because you get a better transmission.
Yeah, faster and drive faster and further away.
Right.
Completely agree. So that's, I guess it's not a lot of non-answers for you, but, the 1A issue before trying to study the next system or the next, change out. The nice thing is with the change out, if you get to that point and you're still happy with Badger, or happy again with Badger, I don't know if you're not, whatever it is with Badger, your system, your software, your hardware, all that is set up for the future. Like if you're like, hey, we're just gonna, do what we did back in 2011, start over, do 100 a year sort of thing, the head-end solution that you have, the head-end system, interface with your billing, that's all in place for whatever technology is next, or whatever, which way you guys end up going. So that is a tiny piece of mind. It would just be endpoints. And then meters, I don't know, the most important part of the conversation is always the meters, the brass part that we're looking at, the register. I don't know in your head if that would include replacing those, or if you've tested them, we'd be happy to test them for you. We have a lot of specific Badger customers who test them diligently and find that they all test up to the 100% accuracy or close to it, and they end up just doing retrofits.
How many cubic feet of gallons are they good for? Are they tested for like 1 million gallons? I mean, they must lose some sort of efficiency by it.
No matter what, they're gonna slow down because some
Yeah.
mechanical parts.
I mean, is there some
There's
sort
no
of
number behind it.
5 million gallons you should,
No, I mean, the registers will turn over after 2.5 million.
Yeah.
But in terms of mechanical parts themselves, clean, good quality water.
So we're looking, we have
30,
iron and
40 years.
manganese, so that's we're gonna change them out this time through. And
Yep.
then if the plant comes online and the water quality gets better, because when you look in the longer they sit, they begin to look somewhat funky
So
inside.
especially the larger ones that might not have the usage going through that you want.
Right.
With manganese, you'll see it, like a nice coating.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I know you guys have Eric come for the source meters. I don't know if he tests any of the 5/8 while he's here ever. But that would be the best thing to do, is just take a small sample from different sections of town where the water quality didn't be different.
Yeah.
We're talking like 10, 12.
Yeah.
Test those and
Check
give
the
you a pretty
meters
good
first and
baseline
see.
Of, do I have to change every single meter? Are these, even the worst water quality areas of town, what if they're all reporting 99.9% accurate? Is it necessary to shut off the plumbing, purchase a new meter? You can save significant money doing that. And we're doing Springfield right now, 40,000. Every single meter for the last 30 years they've tested, all the same Model 25s. They are not replacing meter bodies. They're just retrofitting.
30 years old?
They can't reason the expense when they all,
Yeah,
and
40,000.
they have.
That's quite a bit,
Yeah.
That's all surface water plant out there, right?
Reservoir.
They have real clean.
They have good water. They put a beautiful plant on now.
I
Very
did
clean
work
water.
out there in the
Yeah.
80s,
Really? In the industry?
Yeah.
Nice. What do you do?
engineer. But that's,
Were you born?
No. That, you know, it's getting bad because I get that answer no to so many things.
Wow, no,
It's depressing.
It's so difficult. I turned 41 and hired 220-year-olds at the same time. Talk about feeling old overnight. They use language that I thought I kept up with the times.
No.
How old are you?
25.
Yeah.
9/11.
No, we don't have a test bench to test the meters, do we?
No.
25.
So if we did pull a few and had you.
We would test them,
you
no
would test
charge.
them. All right.
From all these, I mean, getting into houses, we know how hard
That's
it
for a
is.
pit, that,
Are we gonna,
Yeah, it's supposed to be
would we
a
do
pit
the
that you
bodies?
didn't have.
what's wrong with that? That makes it easier, don't wire them.
Well,
I know, but
if the bodies are still
transmitted out of
registered
the
in
basement.
Yeah.
where they're supposed to, why
You
would we
just by
spend
the
the
head?
money? Yeah, just by the top.
So
Save money.
we gotta test all of them?
No, we take some of the worst ones, I think.
But the base is, what, $80?
A little less than that for a full change out.
Right. It's the transmitter and the thing that are the biggest expense. It's not a huge expense
Yeah.
to check out the base at the same time.
I got a foolish question. I'm only a plumber, so I'm not my question is,
You're gonna install it.
so say, like, if the house isn't properly grounded or something and the electricity goes through that, can it screw up the electronic components of it,
Yeah,
if that's even possible?
yeah, it can. We've seen that, I've probably seen that like once, but I've seen unique things like that where it definitely can. I thought you were gonna say that's gonna shock the person.
No, just whatever the, millivolt or whatever it
Yeah.
could be.
No,
Just
it
charging
can.
the head all the
It can,
time.
we haven't seen, I think most town codes say it should be grounded. I don't think you're allowed to anymore ground it through the meter.
No.
In houses, we sell a polymer meter, a plastic meter too,
Yeah,
and that's been a big issue with installation where they didn't prep for it, and now what? No, now you lost that.
You look
That's
at
ground.
ground.
We know, because you get whacked if you take that thing
Well-
out, so we know, we look.
If you ground it to
The older houses
pipe.
are grounded to the,
it melts the solder or something, don't it?
The lightning
Well, hold on.
strike. Stay with dirt.
no.
Well, they did it at
So the psych
The house
engineer.
It can if something goes wrong.
well, if you seen the guy bought the house from.
Downtown?
The town had to fix the water pipe, because he grounded it or,
Well, no, he smashed it.
My house is grounded to the water line.
They used to put the wire over the meter. That's,
Yeah.
look, I'm only a plumber and even I know that.
It's a few houses. There's a few houses where they're grounded on the wrong side of the meter, so when you pull the meter out, you get whacked. So you have to pay attention when you're in there. We have jumpers that we've made.
Yep.
Get
Yeah, we've
around.
heard that from projects.
Well, it hurts, but when you get it, you know you
Yeah.
got buzzed.
Yep.
Now, would something like that cause the premature failures
Yeah.
on these things, do you think? Or,
It shouldn't. Now, I hope that's something quality assurance would look at.
Yeah.
And see if there's actual physical damage like that, like some kind of.
But I mean,
charge.
it's separated, the transmitter is separated from the, I mean, other than it generates that signal through the magnet.
Right, and then it's the voltage
Sends up
of the
a click
wire to
count.
the actual radio.
Right.
There's no RF or anything from it's hardwired from the meter head to the radio device. I have not seen that, so I hope that's
Okay.
not the case, but it'd be very interesting if it is. Yeah, it's so interesting, like this, especially C's, Orion C, the drive-by car, it's been so bulletproof for us, so it's
Right.
something's, 2011 is too early, something strange is happening. And not on you guys necessarily,
and
it
it
could
would
be
be
a bad,
in our town.
Yeah.
bad batch. We really hear is, and eight MEs recently is weird too, because those are just 2-3 years old.
That's why we go back and we check our numbers, just to make sure that something like, and at some point, if you have that many customers, we might be asking you, who do they use for billing systems?
Who do you guys use currently?
Amston, it used to be, they're in Kentucky.
Who is it?
They're called Amston.
Interesting. There's some good ones out there. If you're looking.
Because the way the Gator is loaded now, it's loaded into the billing and then backs down into Badger. I don't personally like that, I'd rather,
That won't change.
alright.
And that's with all the whole
Oh,
industry.
they all
Until
do it
a
that
meter
way.
company makes their own, which I'd love Badger to do. They want your customer database to always be your billing software.
That's why I like the MT server, you could
Yeah.
just look right in it.
Yep. When they first came out with Beacon, you can change it in Beacon, now they don't even let that, so it's gotta be through the billing software.
Yeah.
Or a storage spreadsheet, like in Excel. Yes, that would have solved that one.
Okay, any other questions for these folks?
I have nothing.
And so you figure little over a month, we might hear back from Badger?
Yeah, but the holidays, I'll
Yeah,
push
because,
him.
yeah, between Christmas and New Year's coming,
Yeah.
we'll lose a little.
If I'll push him, see what the issue is, see, obviously an important piece here too is that they replace him for no cost, so at least we don't have that headache. But we wanna know what's going on, it's not just about,
Yeah.
it's not just about giving you free product from Badger. I know free's the right word.
Well, if it's something that, if it's something on their end that, like you said, it was a bad batch or something
Right.
for a couple of them.
Right.
If it was something that we could look out for that might,
Yeah, if we get like a serial number batch and see,
Yeah.
alright, we expect these ones to be next. But I'm guessing, they've been like sporadic, right, throughout the city? Throughout the
Yeah,
city,
they're
throughout the
spread
town?
out, it's
Yeah,
not,
Not one street that you did all in that same two
no,
spots.
it's almost impossible to get people to reply to us like that.
No, that's the, I think Badger sometimes forgets that New England is all, Northeast is all in basements. They think we're all in pits like down south, that's easy to go get to and change out a radio, it's not, like, they don't understand it.
Rattlesnakes in there.
That's what, my friends from Denver's down there.
Poisonous
they have
spiders.
hard. They send me pictures, I'm like, I'd rather deal with that than to try to get into the basement.
Oh, you haven't been in some of these basements.
So,
You have to wear a rattlesnake, you did 95 mask in there.
the hoarders.
You open up the door and that head's looking right at you? That's why I carry a flute.
But yeah, we'll keep you posted on that. I don't know if you want to talk at all about the history, I know that's another nuisance. The lack of history that the radio store,
TV.
but that's more of an industry.
Oh, yeah, well, it's nothing,
More of an industry thing than a Badger thing, unfortunately.
hopefully they hear the squawks and
yeah.
lengthen it out.
Yep.
Because truly, by the 90 days, most of the, like, I pay my bill the minute I get it, look at it. Most of these people, they don't look at it until the day before it's due.
Oh, yeah.
These
And then this 30 days gone, plus another 15 will
Totally
read
agree.
it. So there's 45 days off of the
Well,
90.
if we were
That's
all your way, we'd be a perfect world.
I mean, I'm not perfect, but.
No, I'm with you, I'm with you, I'm with you.
Well, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.
Next time, bring some pizza.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Use EI, heard you guys talking?
Yeah, well, I mean, Mike used to be part of EI.
Like from Marlboro, from New Hampshire?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Mike he lived down in Dartmouth. So for the 20 years, I didn't even know that Ben or any of them existed up there. All I ever saw was Mike.
How's they doing for you?
Ben is smart, like Mike he was out to grab more work for them. Like, he was always grabbing work, but he
Yeah.
wouldn't slow down. It's the same, you hear from everybody, like, you couldn't slow him down when you got a hold of him. You had him for about 15 seconds. So make sure you had written down what you wanted out of him. He's good, he's just not as Ben, but he wouldn't slow down. He was grabbing work. So Ben is kind of stuck now because
You haven't signed those yet?
he's obligated to the things that Mike was bidding on and he's grabbing.
Can't do?
Well, he's finding it now.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm surprised they came all this way.
Right.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you for coming in, look forward to hearing from you with.
Yes, we're happy
The
about that.
results.
Ben's
There
actually
you go.
closer than the guy out in Western Mass, who I pay him 3 hours drive time out to us, and then 3 hours drive time back.
Tom never came, Tom Theory never came here?
There's somebody in Walpole, and I reached out once, but they
MCI?
did, I think it's, something Erickson?
Ari Erickson.
Yeah.
Very good.
But they didn't reach back.
It's a dying breed.
Like,
Colors is hard to find.
right, because a lot of them are committed to manufacturing versus this is
Right.
the other side of it's all PLC programming, it's the same thing, but the devices that you're interfacing with are a little different.
Yeah, yeah, Ari Erickson's very good. AB Instruments is really good. They're out of New Hampshire too,
Yeah.
but they're very good. With some of my cars.
You guys on Canton or Norwood, wherever the hell.
Norwood.
Yeah, Pleasant Street. Yeah, right, Norwood.
Yeah.
Right across from the bird, well, whatever the shingle place
Factory
is now.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Invite us anytime. We'll have pizza next time.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll have some.
See you next month.
Hopefully we'll have some information for you next guys.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Happy holidays.
You too.
Yep, you too.
Moving right along. Since you asked, this is nothing we vote on. This is informational for us. This is the
Water lien list.
water lien list. That's what goes, the stuff that wasn't paid that goes over to the town.
Wow.
So, that's the list.
Anybody we don't?
You showed up half a dozen times.
There's a lot of people you'd know.
She pays
Yeah.
off the water bills.
You think she does.
Uh,
All right. So on to old business.
Probably your pay.
Yeah, that's your check.
Might be a whopper.
You get a check.
8 months of it.
That means he finally did his paperwork.
Exactly.
Congratulations. You could have bought the pizza.
Need coffee?
Anyway, old business. I still haven't heard anything new on the Matfield Street appeal. I believe there's a meeting coming up with planning board. I have it in my calendar to attend, to see when, for that newer one that we already told them we were okay with. Superintendent's job description, I actually did dig out what I had been looking at before, and I didn't print out one of the pages, unfortunately, that has the license requirements, but from what I came up with, and I had looked at, I think it's just mostly what you have in a different form
Yeah.
on that, but a list of everything you're responsible, that this job's responsible for, like from the management side, but then also from the actual work side, on the second page. I just figured, get these out, take a look at it between now and the next meeting, and we can start trying to whittle it down. And a lot of the stuff I have under here is stuff that you're responsible for, but you might delegate it out, like was we kind of pushing things out. A lot of the work, like for the CCR, is Kerry, right, we were moving that out. But you're still responsible for it, you're responsible for things getting scheduled in time. You know, superintendent is responsible for this, making sure the sampling analysis, all that stuff gets done and reported in time. You don't necessarily have to be responsible for getting the samples, doing this, but it's trying to get the responsibilities kind of laid out. So just, you know, take a look and we can start looking at it a little more in the next couple of meetings and try to see what we can come up with. And anything I missed, add to it.
Yeah.
And I did have a sheet that I put all the licensing and that stuff on it,
It just
but
has to be twos.
How many licenses?
don't we have to be more when this comes up online?
No, this should not
This is
change.
gonna stay as a 2?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought that was something I was gonna ask, because I thought we were concerned that that one was gonna be higher.
Yeah, it
For some
shouldn't, we're
reason.
actually using less chemicals, so it should stay at 2. I saw something DEP kind of looked at it early on too, and it, like Manly's not gonna change at all because of
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
It's just that there'll be more maintenance on that new plant, that you just have to be ahead of it.
Yep. Well, I think somewhere in here I have something about scheduling preventative maintenance, making sure things keep running, you know, try to, which, you know, basically it's all the stuff you've been doing.
Right.
Except you're probably doing more hands-on of it, a lot of that stuff than really a superintendent's job description would normally have in it. Because that's how you work.
Right.
Okay. Metering system is the next thing on here, so,
I'll go into Styles.
Which
I'll
is-
take it off.
yeah. We'll keep that one. And then the last thing on the agenda is that Lincoln Street invoice from JRD. Did we hear back from them?
So I did send it out to them, he did receive it, he asked to speak with me, I sent him back the whole pile of days that I'd gladly meet with them. I never heard back from him.
Okay, so it's, so we've told them and it's in their court to get back
Right.
to us.
Shouldn't we bring him in?
Well, I figured I'd discuss with them for, like, I can't spend money and I don't have.
Well, you did.
I didn't. I didn't spend any money, and I wouldn't have. As it is, I think we have a hydrant up there that we're probably gonna have to dig the sidewalk up to replace. Somebody got carried away asking somebody to do things, thinking that it's all free, and it's not. You can't talk to a contractor and think things are free. The things that I did with them, I did through the warehouse itself. I didn't deal with JRD. And then it went out. They actually owed us replacing that hydrant. They were supposed to actually cut and cap and remove the hydrant in front of Honeydew, then dig up and put in a new hydrant almost beside it. So no matter what, they were digging there. They also owed us a hydrant that they didn't put in on the other corner, which can still be put in because they ran an 8-inch tap over there for the future McDonald's. So, you know, I let them know all of this when I sent back the letter to them. I mean, I can give you copies of it if you want. I sent them pictures of the plans, the cut sheet saying, you know, what you owed us, or what was owed out of us as the project. I let them know that we have no contract with you at all. Your contract was Di Bartello and the concrete place, not us. Any change of plan should have gone through them, not, you know, talking with anybody. Randy was only sent out there to shut off valves or turn on valves should they be needed to isolate the system to keep you moving. We did that free, but we don't have to do that for free. We have no agreement with them to do any work for them for free. We're not part of this. We didn't do this project. They did.
And even what was asked for, there's no way it was near that value,
Right.
because they were already working in that.
They already had to
They-
cut out that
Yeah,
section anyways.
Yeah,
And that's
that
what I
wasn't-
sent them back, all the details of the plan showing
Yeah.
you were already gonna be working there.
So really, when Randy asked them,
Right.
they should have just said, we have to, you know, they shouldn't have taken it from him, they should have
Right.
gone through. But even doing it, it was nowhere near what they were trying to charge us
No,
for.
but who told Randy to do that?
Randy kept asking about putting in a valve
To who?
to me, and I'm like, we don't need a valve. And he kept asking over and over. As far as he was not saying that there was any charge. So to me, it just meant, well, we'd pull a valve off of the shelf and give it to them and they'd install it. That's as far as I knew. So I finally told him, okay, we didn't need that valve. 100 feet to the east is a brand new valve that I had them put in, and 400 feet in the other direction is another brand new valve that we actually installed. So we did not need that valve. It's sitting in the middle of nowhere. It's a wasted valve. The only person it isolates is Honeydew from the rest of the system. We didn't need the valve. But I don't have time to keep checking.
But again, regardless of needed or not, that amount of money that they were hitting us for.
Right, it's beyond.
That invoice was
Yep.
insane.
And I told them, you know, give us 24 hours notice. There'll be a gate valve out there, a gate box, all of the parts associated with it. Not the parts that you're claiming.
We have to put a new hydrant on the street that they just paid?
By the church, yes. Once again, I can't be out there, but it's a Rensselaer, and those are the ones that are dying fast.
Yeah, but that's in the contract, but that's in.
That's not in their contract. Was not. But
So
Randy,
why didn't we do it?
once again, I can't tell you because nobody told me.
What, that the hydrant was no good?
Right. There's a reason that I do everything, because I don't want to get burned, but I don't have time to be doing everything. To have left that hydrant there and not gone in while it was all dug up, that was a mistake on our part. But you know, as far as I knew, he was having them take it the minute they sent that bill, I pulled that hydrant back. I was not going to pay them to change out a hydrant. That's something we can do.
Now, is that hydrant not working now, or is it just one
I
of the
don't
ones
know,
that?
it's one that's getting, the Rensselaers are 60s era, but they seize up. And that's what he's been replacing, and I keep telling him you have to replace the 2 ears also because the fire department can't use them. You can't just concentrate
need
on the
the steam.
Rensselaers. We've got a lot of 1930 hydrants out there, the 2 ears. And actually, some of them go back to the early 1900s. They still work great, but they're a 2 ear. You've got to get rid of them.
It's fine, we only had a 4-inch water main in the road.
Right.
Like 16, 12. Okay.
Anything else?
So back on that, we're just waiting to hear back from
I'm
them.
waiting to hear back from
Okay.
them and see what he says to me.
Well,
From what you said, according to the plans, if they owe us stuff still that
Right.
they haven't done,
Yep. And
besides.
early on in the project, they asked if they could not put in that hydrant and do the honeydew one, but it was already in the plans. I said, okay, there's no sense, the hydrants on both corners didn't make any sense. But I mean, if you're gonna become nitpicking here, well, then you still owe us that
Yeah.
G. Bartello be told that hydrant has to be installed.
And those are the same people that ran that 16 all the way down from Crescent all the way.
Yes,
down.
but now it's a
With different
different
contract.
format. It's the same,
Oh,
it's
wasn't it?
KRR and JRD, they're one and the same. But they changed the superintendent this year.
Yeah, but the line they ran down to Elm wasn't them, wasn't that CC?
That's way down the
SLT?
other end.
SLT. But yeah, it was a different contractor ran the extension of the main that we wanted.
Right.
Than is working up at the
Yeah,
intersection.
but what's the name ran, CC ran water through.
Yeah, CC was the
They
one that
ran from
ran,
the corner.
was the extension down to South Elm. I think SLT was from up here down to the site, something like that. But a lot of
If
money.
they owed us another hydrant, they should have put it where that other hydrant that's no good. Right? If you're gonna match hydrants to hydrants.
Even then, those are close.
Right.
What's that?
Because even then, those are pretty close together
No,
from where they put that other one in up to the,
but the hydrant's no
Until there.
good, that's up there.
well, we don't know. It's,
I don't know,
it's
But,
it's
because
ones that'll work
it
as
is-
long as they're not jamming up. So it could be working.
they seize up.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but they seize up.
I guess after 60 years, that sees up too.
We started season up long before that. But, I mean, something they could check in the next
Yes, I'll have
couple
to
weeks
check
or
it.
something, just to see, and if it is seized,
Right.
you know, treat it different than if it's
So if it's
functioning right now.
So if it sees, then what?
Well, then it has to be replaced.
Yeah,
That's great.
better to know than to have it sit there without not knowing, and
It's, never mind.
everything doesn't work all the time, unfortunately, with this old stuff.
It's not like it just started. It wasn't like a 20-minute project. It was probably 3 years going that we could have looked.
So we wait to hear from them for
Yeah,
that.
basically until he comes back.
And if we don't hear from them,
But we're not paying the bill anyway, so
Right.
it's not costing us
fine
anything.
with me.
That kills the agenda. Does anybody have anything else they would want to bring up tonight to discuss and not vote on?
Nope.
Oh, come on. Nothing? Next meeting is January 5th, we already said, right?
Motion to adjourn.
Should you keep this?
No, it's just for you. I have one.
Yeah.
Dick? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned at 6:15.